Hello, friends, and welcome back to Meme of the Month. We're really excited to be here tonight. We have a different system, one that I don't believe we've used before on this stream. So that's going to be a lot of fun tonight. We have a crew of three in addition to our game master, and
Woo!
let's go ahead and introduce ourselves as our human normal selves, not as the characters we'll be playing. So we're gonna start just to the side of me with our GM Adam.
Hello, I am Adam DeWeese. You can find me all over the network, either GMing some shows like Halfway to Heroes and One Shot Onslaught, or playing in other shows like Eclipse, and frequent guest on Meme of the Month as well. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm not nervous at all to be GMing a brand new system I've never played on Twitch stream. Not at all.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine. But the good news is none of us have played it on Twitch either.
Yeah, so you know
Nope.
what? Like, I I could just bullshit whatever I want and just be like, that's in the rules. I'm sorry, guys. It says right here, like it's in the rules. It's I don't
Exactly.
think I can do that.
I mean, you could try. I don't know how well it would work, but you could try. Let's talk to tonight's players. We'll start with Alondra.
Hello, I am Alondra, aka Lady Bedivere. You can find me on pretty much any social network at Lady Bedivere. In addition to being a semi-regular on Meme of the Month, thank you all for having me. I also play and produce regularly with the Quests and Chaos Network and with the Torpid Gaming Network. So you can find me all over your socials.
Lovely. Next, we have Netta Marie.
Hi, good evening. This is me. I'm Neda Marie. You can find me truly all over the internet as Neda Marie, which you can see spelled on the overlay. I'm not gonna spell it, it's hard. Um, Also a frequent flyer on Meme of the Month, and I also produce and am a cast member on Quest Lead Plans, which is approaching its season one finale in like 2 weeks. So it's a great time to catch up if you're into dinosaurs and having a terrible time with them.
Who isn't?
That really is a great show. I'm loving it.
Oh my God, thank you.
And last but certainly not least, we have Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie. I show up here too. This is Milka. She will probably be interrupting my game. I'm so sorry. You can find me on Insta, and that's just about it, as Fiddlefern90.
All right. So I am going to go ahead and turn things over to Adam, and I'm going to get out of here. So you guys have fun playing our Blades in the Dark vampire heist.
Yay!
So I'm excited for this transitional match. Look at that.
Woo!
Danny crushed it with
Yeah.
these overlays. You go, Danny. Okay, so we are actually starting the night off in New Meme Town. That's right. If you are a frequent flyer of this program, you've grown to know and love Meme Town. However, unfortunately, Meme Town has been absolutely and utterly destroyed over. I think the last time we went to Meme Town, between then and now, we'll say that's been about 1,000 years. And since then, a couple things have happened of note. The sun exploded. When the sun exploded, a bunch of demons and ghosts kind of infiltrated and swarmed over the planet. And now people have to generate these electrical gates to keep out all the bad ghosts, fueled by demon blood. It's a whole thing. But I mean, at its heart, Meme Town is still, or New Meme Town, I should say. Sorry, they get really upset if you call it just Meme Town. New Meme Town is still the same Meme Town that we've grown to know and love over the last couple of months of this show. Other than the frequent ghosts getting in, and there are some vampires, at least 3 in New Meme Town. They are all above me. And I say that just so that everybody knows that. So when we're setting the scene and we're setting the setting, vampires are known. People know that vampires are real beings, and they're very rare though, almost to the point where a lot of people have kind of grown divorced from like the knowledge, or it's been like so many years since there's been like a very public vampire either sighting or capture or anything like that, to where a lot of people it's kind of grown into like mythology and legend, though, but still it is factual. People know that vampires exist. um, and we're going to start the night off with our three vampires inside of Essie. Is it Essie?
Essie, yes.
Essie? Okay. We're going to start the night off in Essie's law firm. Essie, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, since I think it's and your law firm. What's your office like?
So, Essie comes from a long line of lawyers. And so we have one of those like very big pretentious buildings. It's like the massive office building, and we've got offices up on the like umpteenth floor where we can lord over everyone else. It has some incredibly complicated string of partner names that no one really remembers. So we mostly just refer to it as the firm, and you pretty much know what you're talking about by context. And it's definitely done up to be reminiscent of sort of the olden times of New Meme Town. That very classic, lots of dark wood and like strange electrical like Tesla coil looking bullshit things up in the corners and little curio cabinets.
Nice.
That blend of old world and new, if you will. Essie has worked her way up in the ranks to being a partner. How exactly she worked up those ranks is a little bit questionable depending on how you talk to, but she's got a corner office and nobody can take it away. So that's what matters. And that is the office that we are in. Essie herself is a fairly tall woman, a little bit pale, very dark hair, wears a lot of eye makeup, which might be a vibe or might be to hide the really dark circles under her eyes that are just perpetually there. Really hard to say. And she knows that nobody else is in the office at this time of night. She's pretty much the only lawyer that works nights. And so she's invited her compatriots to use her office as a sort of meeting place.
That does. I do want to ask what your playbook is, but also, do you work strictly nights? Are you just a nighttime warrior?
All of Essie's client meetings happen at night. They happen a lot in the office at night because that's when none of the other partners are around. But she is also known as being one of the only partners in the firm who will happily go to you wherever you are in the city. And I do mean wherever you are. Which has also, she's not the most popular partner at her firm, but like younger partners have tried to get rid of her and then they just mysteriously disappear and get replaced and somebody else gets promoted. So everyone kind of stopped that a few years ago because it was getting sketch.
And what playbook is Essie?
I am using a playbook. I am using the Slide.
Okay.
I did a slight modification off of one of the basic ones, but I have I'll just say my special ability from my Slide playbook, for those of you familiar with Blades in the Dark, is like looking into a mirror, which means I can always tell when someone is lying to me.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that seems good.
Yeah, it's the very like people skills talk your way in and out of situations playbook style.
Seems very lawyer-esque. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay, and then inside of Essie's office, would one, or is it? Sorry, my screen is very small right now. Is it? I see an S. Katie, what is your character name?
Sarepta.
Sarepta.
I hope.
Although nobody calls her that anymore, because anybody who did call her that has been long dead. But in the dregs, they just call her Sorry.
Okay, that I can probably remember. Would you want to go ahead and introduce your character first? Sorry.
Yes. Sitting in a chair incorrectly is a long, thin person not in the healthy sense, and very much of a kind of waifish, rickety kind of sense. The only thing that really that anybody can ever really remember about Sorry after they've met her is how much her face is just kind of occupied by these kind of big, uncanny, owlish eyes. And she just kind of like enjoys looking at people unsettlingly and just kind of examining them. She doesn't go out very often, doesn't do a lot of meet you wherever, whenever. If people need Sorry services, they have to come and find Sorry. So she's kind of the best kept secret of the slums. And she's just fiddling with little hand tools and little gizmos that she's pulling out of her pockets. Meanwhile, Katie is wrestling a kitten, trying to convince it not to eat her headphone cord. I am so sorry, darling. There we go.
What playbook is Sorry?
Sorry will be working from the Leech playbook.
Okay,
and Sorry's special ability is, if I remembered what it is called correctly, venomous, I believe.
Ooh.
Oh, you're the one that can you're immune to some kind of poison and you can like inhale it and exhale it or something weird.
Basically, I am immune to one of the alchemical substances that have kind of populated the chemical markets here in New Meme Town. And in particular, I enjoy dining with folks who have been enjoying a little too much of the trance powder, and it has kind of permanently stained my lips blue. So just don't breathe too deeply around me, I suppose.
Okay. And then I love the sitting in a chair incorrectly, but not telling what way we're thinking of incorrectly.
Let us leave it to the imagination. There's 1,000 ways you can do it incorrectly.
And it's not the way you would imagine. It's
not what you think.
And last but certainly not least is one.
Yeah, one is a very small person, like short, skinny. They are very much lurking by the door of this room, like arms crossed, hood up, very much like trying to give off a whole thing. But if you've known them for like more than 1 minute, you would know they're covered in terrible memento style tattoos, like all over, like facial, like what they're a vampire, it doesn't matter. Cropped hair, it's bleach blonde. They're wearing one bisexual earring. It's extremely important that it's there. And they are just trying so hard to not be engaged in this.
What playbook is one?
Oh, the lurk. And my
lurk.
special ability is infiltrator, which just means that I get to walk in wherever I want.
Awesome. Love it. And we'll start the night. Alondra, I'm actually going to be putting some narrative bricks on your shoulder.
Fine by me.
Because they're not too heavy. It's okay. Because the reason for this meeting is that years ago, and we'll get into what everybody's item is. I think I currently only know me, Adam, one item right now. It is one's earring. But you all have had an item stolen from you or somehow misplaced years ago, months ago, days ago, centuries ago. Whatever works for you. You all can let us know when this item was taken from you. And it's been put on display at the it's actually the item that you are missing has kind of been jumping around from museum to museum. You've never had the crew to take back your item. You've always been vampires are kind of loners by just in general, you know that vampires are kind of um not like the most like welcome. They're kind of people are, you know, a little bit wearisome of vampires, so vampires tend to lay low. However, for the first time ever, um Essie has figured out that not only is Essie's item going to be in the gallery of time tonight, but one and Sorry's item will also be for just a moment during an item exchange, will be in the same place and same time for the first time ever, maybe the last time ever. Um, so Essie has called this meeting to inform One and Sorry that, hey, we can now band together and go and try to I don't even want to say steal. I don't want to say steal. This is your guys' shit. Like
Repo.
Reclaim.
yeah, reclaim. Like it's your all's time to reclaim what's rightfully yours. Um so that's kind of like the general idea of this meeting. So we can drop right into the office. And also we'll just kind of need to figure out what item was stolen from everybody. And then we will from then on how Blades in the Dark works is we kind of will figure out what the score is, what you all are trying to get back, and then you all will just pick a method of engagement, whether that be assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, or transport. And then from there, we'll cut right to the heist. But first, we can drop right into this very dark and gloomy office of Essie as you all are having your meeting for the first time, as Essie has invited you to the office.
Yeah. Essie is perched very primly with all the assets on display on the edge of her desk. And just kind of glancing between the two of you. So, as I tried to explain when I sent my notes, I think you all might be interested in a little proposition, as I understand that you're also missing some things, if you get my drift. Some very important things, the sorts of things that tend to wind up in heavily guarded institutions instead of the local lost and found. Let's just say that I also have one of these particular items, and I have reason to suspect that perhaps there's going to be a little bit of a convergence happening, that all these things are going to be. You know about the thing at the Gallery of Time, right? Everybody's heard about the thing at the Gallery of Time.
Mhm.
I think I saw it on one of the covers of the papers. I'm not sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yes, my thing's there. It's getting moved out. I've heard stories about this earring thing through my network, and I know there's an earring in the collection that's coming in. So I figured I should put out some feelers to the rest of you and see if maybe we could all make this a mutually beneficial situation.
Ooh. I'm interested, if for nothing else other than it's fun. This sounds fun.
Oh, it's bound to be absurd, so I'm all for it. What is it exactly? Little birdie told me that you might be looking for something. Sorry, but I never quite found out what it was. Care to share with the class?
Yes. A friend of mine, a very, very personal friend, did a sketch of me a very, very long time ago. And we were sitting in a busy restaurant when he did it. And I was like, oh, this is great, Tuli, thank you. And he gave it to me. And then I set it down and I forgot to pick it back up when we left. And then later on, I'm so pissed. I see that it's on display. People are paying to go and see it. That's my drawing. He made that of me in my stockings and knickers. So it belongs to me. That's what I have to say then.
Very similar to my situation, unfortunately. A bunch of very personal letters that I wrote to we'll gently say a series of lovers a very long time ago, have somehow become some sort of historical artifact of the before times. I'm not quite sure which before times because they really span like decades, but it seems like no one's pieced that together because my handwriting hasn't changed in 1,000 years. So I'd just really like to get those back. I don't need my dirty laundry being on display for school children to write essays on anymore.
Now I'm desperately trying to think of what name you could have possibly used. I'm like, who did a lot of letter writing that I've seen in the papers lately?
Oh, I really wouldn't worry about it. It was under a different name a long, long time ago. And, Juan, can we count on you to, get involved in our little charade here?
Sure. Yeah,
Wonderful.
that's great. I want to hear all about your smut. Also, I will want to know how you know about the earring.
As I said, I have a lot of friends in low places, and little
Thank you.
birdie told me. Also, you should probably tell your friends at the club to be a little more discreet about how much drugs they take and who they talk to when they're on those drugs if they can't shut up. I can tell you which
Sure.
friends if you like. I've got a whole dossier.
I would love that.
I'll just she leans forward and opens like a secret drawer that's in the front of her desk and pulls out like 3 file folders. There's like several baggies of different kinds of drugs on top. She like slides those back into the drawer, hands you the like tosses you the folders.
One leans in and then leans in some more and then starts reading. Deeply interested in the rest of the contents of the drawer, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
for
Forgive me.
now-
Did anyone want? I've got whiskey. I've got O positive. I've got I think this one's an upper, this one's a downer, and this one's a painkiller. Help yourselves.
And just goes over to the sideboard, like unfolds the legs and starts just administering. Nice.
Yeah, one's currently preoccupied with the dossiers first. Then we're gonna engage in uppers, but dossiers first.
No, well, okay. Let's do this in the right order, everyone. Let's come up with a quick little plan. I've got here reaches under all of the like drugs and paraphernalia and pulls out another file folder. So I've got some information here about the date and time that this changeover is happening in the museum. So I think obviously that's going to be our target point, so we can get everybody's shit all at once and then just go about our merry ways and never have to speak to each other again unless we want to. You know, always for the better to be able to just make a clean break if you need. Let's set a plan and then we can just do a massive ton of drugs until the time comes, yes?
I'm down. That sounds good.
Wonderful.
So what we've got, what the stakes are, one is missing an earring that's on display. Sari has some questionable drawings of her that she would like to get back. And then Essie has poetry. It sounds like, or
So many dirty
or
letters.
letters.
So
Okay,
many
okay.
dirty letters.
Cool. Okay, so that's okay. So I wanted to establish like what the stakes were, what we were going for. Cool. Other than that, so the way that Blades in the Dark works is, you know how whenever you try to do a heist in TTRPGs or Dungeons and Dragons, anything, it tends to really boil down to like a ton of planning. The cool thing about Blades in the Dark is there's not a lot of like, you guys don't plan it right now. What happens is you all will just pick a method of entry, and you can choose between assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, transport, and then that's it. And then when we cut to the action, if any time during the night, during the one shot, you all can do your planning real time through a series of flashbacks. And so you all should have a stress marker on your character sheet. I don't know what it goes up to. Can somebody tell me how many stress points?
1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9, and then you get trauma.
Yes. Okay. So you have 9 stress to play with. If you get to trauma at that point, then you incur like lifelong detriments to your like mental well-being. So you don't want to do that. That would be
We're
awful.
already doing a lot of drugs. I don't think we can handle trauma on top of it.
Exactly.
How do you
But
know we don't have some?
throughout the night, you all can flashback. You all can spin a stress. Some of them may not even cause a stress if it's like of something very simple. But for example, you all could like see a guard, and you can flash back to a conversation earlier in the day that you chatted with the guard, or you could come to an obstacle and you could flash back years ago, like, hey, I studied this obscure thing and I know about this, and then like and that will help you out. um so that's kind of the way that this heist planning goes. The only thing I do want to give you three prior to us doing our point of entry is I would like for you three to come up with one obstacle that you know is going to be in the museum tonight, that maybe Essie found out about, or somebody found out about. But I think it'd be fun if we let you three like come up with one of the obstacles. And this could be out of character. This could be you all. You just.
I can think of a really obvious one that would be an obstacle for me in character. I don't know how much it would affect you guys. But Essie clearly has slept with somebody who's in upper management at the museum. And if she
Ooh.
runs into them, that would be a huge problem because they would know who she is and recognize her and might start to put some pieces together.
Nice.
I should have said even. I should have said. I mean, I love it. What we that could definitely be one. One thing that Essie does know that I did populate is that, unfortunately, and I still forgot to go get my Santa hat. Then I told E3 before we started streaming. I was like, oh, I forgot my Santa hat. I still forgot it. Anyway, unfortunately, during this cutover period, the Time Gallery is having their like corporate employee holiday party in one of the wings. So
there will be
like,
people there.
There is going to be people just in one wing, though. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sure it's not going to hamper you three at all. But that I did want to give that information because Essie would be able to tell everybody that prior.
That's how I know that people I've slept with are also going to be in the building.
And that is where I forgot my. That's how I was trying to tie in some Christmas flair, but I did forget my hat. I'll get it on break. It's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
But other than that, for the obstacle, we could have somebody that Essie has definitely slept with that will be at the party and in the museum. Is there any other obstacles we can think of that we could throw in, or we don't have to? I mean,
I have a floor plan thing about this museum. I think there is a part of it that we need to get to, which you can only get to through like one, if elevators exist, one elevator. So it's very much there's only one way in or out of this part of it.
There's a bad
love
chokehold.
it.
That's exciting.
Yes, and it goes the elevator. It goes down.
So
So it
many
goes through like a
delicious
subfloor.
options.
Yes.
Oh.
Love it. Fuck it. Katie, you want to come up with them too? We'll just add 3 complications. Let's do it.
Oh God.
It'll be fun.
I'm literally trying to think. I was like, now what?
I don't want to put you on the spot. You don't have to if you don't have any, if nothing's coming to you right away.
No,
but
team, I can't think of anything that somebody who's been like basically a street urchin for hundreds of years would necessarily care about.
Is
west side of
Town. I mean, not to meta, but is there anything? I picked mine specifically because I have skills that I can display and use to try to manipulate that into a beneficial situation, or that could backfire on me. So, do you have any particular like skills as your street urchin that like, if we threw it, we could pick an obstacle that you could specifically use to showcase said skills? This is the problem with having other GMs in your game, Adam. I'm sorry.
No, that's what this is. Like, Blaze in the Dark is supposed to be. I know, other than D&D seems to me to be very GM players. There seems to be a very like clear separation in Dungeons and Dragons, compared to like all other TTRPGs. Monster of the Week, Blades in the Dark. Like, no matter what you're playing, other than D&D, it seems like it's supposed to be very collaborative, and Blades in the Dark even more so seems to very much be. I am just very barely considered the game master. Really, it's us four together building this story, even building out the museum. Like Netta adding there's a elevator that goes down, and there's like this is very much supposed to be collaborative. So I enjoy having other GMs on the squad.
Well, I'm definitely like listening to the challenges that have been presented by One and Essie. I'm already like thinking about like my little weird bandolier, like double bandolier of shit that I've always got on me. And I'm just like, ooh, so maybe while we're like doing drugs here, I need to like make a couple more of the drift oil vials. And I probably need to double down on standstill poison. And oh God, should I get a bomb? I should make a bomb. Does she want that wall clock? I don't think she's going to miss that wall clock. What if I just quickly take it off the wall and just start doing like this right here while she's snorting stuff? I don't think she'll notice.
Essie is absolutely doing lines off of her desk, so go to town. My advice is pleasure, if people hadn't figured it out, for those of you familiar with the Blades in the Dark system.
Same.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Nice.
sucks because like as a one shot, there's a lot of really, really cool mechanics in Blades in the Dark that I know we're not going to get into, like the crew. Like you all supposed to be able to also make a crew, and you get like bonuses to the crew, and then you also have vices that you have to do after a score and to like get your stress back down, and it's so cool. Everyone should go check out Blades in the Dark. Unfortunately, since we're doing a one shot, there's a lot of stuff we're just gonna not have on the plate tonight, but it sounds like we've got enough information that we can now have you three pick what method of what is it called? The engagement, the 6 different types of plan. It's the kind of plan that you all want to do.
Right.
It could either be assault, which is do violence to a target. I don't think that one's gonna be fit this. But the detail. So what you do is you pick a method, and then you have to fill in one missing detail, and then that's it. We cut to the action with you all in the middle of the heist. So for assault, the detail is the point of attack. If you all did deception, and you guys could do separate if you wanted to split, like if somebody was going to do something and the other one or two were going to do something else, you all don't have to pick the same method, though I think generally it does, but we don't have to. Deception, so that's either luring, tricking, or manipulating, and the detail that you three would supply is the method of deception. Stealth, cat burglars, you are trying to just remain unseen throughout the whole time. You pick the point of infiltration. Occult, engage in a supernatural power, detail the arcane method. Social, negotiate, bargain, persuade, and then the detail that you all provide is the social connection. Or transport, cargo, carry cargo or people through danger, and the details, the route and the means. I don't know if assault or transport would really make sense on this one. I think it would probably be between deception, stealth, occult, and social, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of stealth personally, just because I don't think that I have the acting chops to necessarily be able to get this Tim Burton-esque person through a party.
I feel like you two are both going to excel at stealth, and I think I would like to start with stealth, and if shit goes south, I can pivot to something like social or deception very easily, because that is what a slide does. And so then if things start to go south, maybe I can break off and create problems
Mhm.
elsewhere while you all get what we're looking for, or something to that
Okay.
effect.
We can do that. So we can say that the method of approach is stealth
Stuff.
initially. Okay. All right. So the way this works is we do no more planning. You all don't study the layout of the museum or do anything else. We are now going to be cutting to the action, and to do that, we do an engagement roll. Um, I real quick, I did want to. Did everybody pick their loadout size? It's like
Mhm.
Yes.
light,
Mhm.
medium,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to pick your items yet. You can literally just like be pulling out items as we're doing the heist. Like, oh, I've got this
Nice.
thing. Oh, I've got this
Nice, nice,
thing.
nice.
You just need to pick like if you're light, you blend in, you can't even like see what you're carrying. If you're medium, you kind of look like you've got a bunch of shit on you and it's kind of obvious. If you're heavy, it's like, okay, this person is not allowed in here. They've got a fucking machete on their person.
Why is that
Um,
guy carrying a backpack rocket launcher to a
yeah,
party?
yeah. It's more of just like how light you all are trying to travel, and then you get like I think light's like 0 to 3 items you can get, and you pretty much like I said, you just kind of pull it out as you get to that.
Mhm.
Okay, so let us establish our engagement role. Which of course I've got it pulled up. Okay, so engagement role. Is this operation particularly bold or daring? Kind of seems to me like it is. I mean, you all are stealing 3 pretty valuable items from a museum. Um,
Mhm.
so you start with one d6. That question grants you another d6, so I think it is bold and daring. Um, the next question can take away a d6, and it is this operation overly complex or contingent on many factors? I don't.
No, we're just gonna go in and get out.
We're just gonna walk
Yeah,
in, grab the stuff, and leave. Yeah.
yeah. It doesn't seem. I agree. I don't think. So you all are up to 2d6 right now.
Mhm.
Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're the weakest? Or is the target strongest against this approach? Um,
Mm.
I don't. That
They're
one.
hosting a party, which National Treasure would teach us is where they are most vulnerable.
They're distracted.
Mm.
I would. Okay, so again, this is collaborative. This is not me saying
Mhm.
no. We're gonna do this. I was kind of leaning towards this one kind of being a wash because it is. They're obviously strongly defended, right? They are
Mm.
a like a well protected, high security museum. They've got a lot of very valuable objects. They're also throwing a holiday party, so it
Well,
kind
and
of
to
seems
do
like
that
that
at the
one.
same time as this is happening feels like a major flaw. So I was
Yeah.
worried that maybe it
Okay.
cancels itself out.
Yes.
Oh,
This
okay.
is
Well,
I was
oh, are
gonna
you
give
gonna
you
let us
guys the
take it
bonus.
away?
Yeah, I was gonna
Okay.
give you the bonus d6 also.
Okay.
yeah, I'll
Yeah,
just go ahead and
the
pick that
holiday
one up.
party. Yeah, they're.
It's just like that's a bad security move. Why are you bringing in all of the random strangers at the same time as the artifact swap?
So it is not supposed. It is. This is supposed to be locked down to just employees. This holiday party. Uh,
Still, do
Do
you
they
know
yeah,
get
everyone
plus
who works for
one?
you?
yeah,
Uh,
and that includes security though too. You know what I mean? Like, obviously,
Oh,
there's still gonna be security working, but there's gonna be some at the party. Let's
they're
give you
not
another
gonna be
D2 or a
working.
D6, not a
Yeah.
D2. Um, can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? So this is another thing that is usually when you're playing Blades in the Dark, you usually will have at least one friend and one enemy or rival.
mhm,
Obviously we didn't like do that for this one shot, but if you all
mhm.
can like come up with like a way to make that work, we can grant you another D6.
I absolutely helped somebody who's like a high up donor or like board member of the museum get off of some very trumped up murder charges once.
Nice.
There you go.
Okay, so maybe
or
they
some
gave
like
you.
like dealt with some forgery thing for the museum. Like I've done work for somebody here. That doesn't
So
necessarily grant me a win, but that at least grants me an in.
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe Essie, maybe like that's how you heard of this party going on, right? Maybe you got an invite, maybe you RSVP'd no, but or yes, who knows? But either way, maybe that's how you even know about the party, which is actually pretty good. And I didn't actually realize like not till this exact moment that I realized like you three shouldn't know about an employee party at this museum, but maybe that
I
checks
know
out. Maybe
about
that's why Essie knows. Yeah.
everything.
Okay, let's give you all another one.
Another one.
And so that would be so you start with one. You got one for it being bold and daring,
Mm-hmm.
one for the party going on, and then one for having the contact. So four 4d6s. So whichever you three would like to roll that. This is going to determine how we start off the first obstacle, which you all oh wait. So you all pick stealth.
Yes.
What is and then the detail that you three need to provide is just the point of infiltration. Like roof, back door, window, front door, just how like what that is.
Is it the service elevator in the back? Is that the elevator that goes up or down, or
I was to say, if there's a party going on, we're gonna go in whatever entrance is nearest the kitchen so that we
Yeah,
can
like
join with the
catering.
catering.
Okay, so like a side entrance, like a
Yeah.
the loading
delivery
dock?
slash. Okay,
Yes.
Yes.
okay. Who wants to roll those four?
I can
Katie,
do
you
it.
were excited about your dice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Katie,
Good
you
dice,
have.
good
I
dice,
saw.
good
but I
dice.
didn't want responsibility for them, but now
It
I
is a
am
lot of
sensitive of it.
yeah.
Okay. Do
So
not
we
have
take the highest of these.
Okay, so I'm
So having-
rolling each one individually or all of them at
You
once?
roll them all together and just take the highest.
Okay.
I think it's fun when you roll them all together. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I have 3 4s and 1 2.
So 4. Ooh, okay. 4 is a mixed success. So there's going to be
Shit.
something's going to go wrong. Okay. So we cut to the action. You all have made it to the side entrance to the museum that Essie has pointed out. You know, this is where like caterers come in. It's not super secure. This is a good way to get in and out. However, when you all get to the door is locked, which Essie did not see coming. Essie assumed that it would be unlocked since there's going to be people coming in and out through this exit.
Timing.
Cool.
That's
I've
problematic.
got burglar tools.
Oh,
I fully have lockpicks. We
and
can
this
work
is
this.
why I brought you two along. I knew this would be a perfect job for the three of us. Please go ahead. Let me know if I can help. Just kicks back, lights a cigarette, and waits.
Amazing.
Well, if one has their lockpicks out, like what Sari has done is opened up her weird sweater and pulled out her crowbar. It's just like, let me just polish that in.
Amazing.
I love when there's a backup plan built in.
So
It's
for
teamwork.
So for lockpicking, I did pull up the kind of different actions that we have in the system.
Yes.
There is Tinker and Finesse, and either of them can kind of work for lockpicking. It literally says you could try to use Finesse for lockpicking, but Tinkerer might be better for you. So this is one of those things where you can kind of choose which way you want to do it.
Well, good news is I have dots in both. This is first time playing the system. We're figuring it out. I'm gonna do finesse because I have more dots in there.
Okay, yes, you do. Yeah, the more dots, the better. How many dots do you
Yeah.
have?
I have 2 dots in finesse.
Okay.
Excellent.
Let me figure out. So for the position, I would say this position is I don't want to say controlled because you don't know. Somebody may try to walk out this door as you're picking the lock. So we'll say it's risky. and we'll say that it's standard effect. You either pick the lock or you don't. Um, so now the question is, for finesse, you've got 2 dots in it,
Yep.
so you can roll 2 die.
Okay.
And then, if you would like, you could push yourself, so you can get another die, but then you would be getting 2 stress. Or if somebody would like to help you, they can take 1 stress, and you can add a die to your pool. Yeah, and then we roll. It's because this is the first roll of the night, so we need to kind
Yep.
of
First.
establish
Figure it
these
out.
rules.
First roll, first roll.
And then so how it works is 1 to 3 is a failure. 4 and 5 are mixed successes. So like you could pick the lock, get it open, but then as soon as you open it, somebody's on the other side of it. Or a 6 or crit sixes, 2 sixes, you get critical, or it just works exactly how you want it to.
Cool.
So the more dice, the better, obviously. But obviously, the stress is your currency to spend in this game. You spend stress for pushing yourself to add dice, and you also spend stress to flash back.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna spend. I'm not gonna push myself. I'm just gonna. One feels pretty confident about this, so I'm just gonna attempt it
Roll
with
a
my
2
2 dice. Yes.
and take the higher.
Cool. That's a 4.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So I think you're able to. Another thing in this game is clocks. So I have a couple clocks I've set up for this adventure, including when the items are actually swapped out, um, and also an alert clock to, if you all pile on too much loud shit or something, if you draw too much attention to yourself and the alert clock fills up, that's gonna be bad news. The guard's gonna be down on you, and either trying to rescue or catch you. I think you are able to pick this lock one, but it's not as quick as you imagined, and you're actually sitting there for like 15 minutes just working on this lock. And we're just gonna tick the item swap up to 1 out of 6.
Okay.
But you do open up the door, and just like Essie has pointed out, it is this is the kitchen. It's actually, there's nobody in here at this moment. You think that at this hour the dinner has probably already been served, or it is currently being served to the guest of the party.
Okay.
All right. So that took a minute, but that's fine. Now we just have to go find your elevator. Yes, one?
Correct. Yes. I'm just gonna walk past the 2 of them very carefully. But I think my ego is ever so slightly bruised, so I'm just gonna
Kind of
carry
pictured
on.
you like floating almost like old school
Yeah.
movies.
It's very much like a yes.
Just full drag in whatever's left of the current cigarette that I'm on, flick the butt away, and follow you guys in.
I lope after.
So, I think it would be common knowledge, the layout of the hotel. I think that makes sense. I don't really want to make you all like go and find a map or anything. I think that is something that is simple enough that during your all's planning, you would just have a map of the layout of the museum. And so that you all know that you're currently in the kitchen. Points of interest that you all would kind of be cognizant of are the storage elevator that goes down. That's where items that aren't currently on display are stored. And then there is the largest room in in the museum, the one that has it's got a big triceratops skeleton put up in the middle. Like that's where they had their parties. And then there's a gift shop that has like replicas of all the different items that are on display on the museum. And then there was like another main hall that has a lot of different objects that are put up on display, and then of course like the main lobby, like the entrance lobby. um I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
think if I don't know that you all know where each item is yet. um
I
I think that would
I think I would know where, because mine was the one that was on display that's being taken off, and theirs are the ones that are coming in. So I think I know where mine was displayed, but I don't know if the display has been pulled down fully yet or not.
Mm.
If that makes
yes,
sense, because because
yes.
I keep very close tabs on where this shit is in hopes that at some point I can get it off display.
Nice, nice, nice,
Okay,
nice.
so we can um yeah, I think that I'm just trying to figure out like what I can get for free, and like what we need to either like flashback or something for. But I think for that, I think we can say for free. You know that um your letters are actually in the the room that has like the multiple items on display that are should currently be off limits and not open. um it is one's earring that is going to be coming onto display, and then right now, currently, Sorry's uh, smut, I think is what one called it, is what is currently on display in the big hall with the the Triceratops skeleton that has the party going on.
Ugh,
Right.
Oh.
So
ugh.
there's three different locations. There's one's is in storage. Essie's, yours is in like a random, like an actual like hall in the museum, and then it is Sorry's that is on display in the party room.
Ugh, that's just insult to injury. They couldn't pay Tully when he was alive, and now they all pay to come see his work. Shit.
All right, but hear me out. We can make this work. If we've got two items that are away from the people and we can get those first, then we can set a diversion over there to get all the people out, and we just go the opposite way. Grab yours and be on with it, yes?
I do like that. I do like
You said
that.
you had a bomb, didn't you? You did something with
Oh, you
something
noticed.
on. Oh, I always notice. I just don't give a shit. It's all like tchotchkes that they give us every year. Thanks for another 50 years of being a partner. No one seems to have actually noticed how long I've worked here.
Oh, yes, I do have a bomb. Yes.
I'm just saying we could
Oh,
use that later. I like
I get to use it?
explosions. Maybe.
Yes. I'm so excited now. This will be good. This will be a good party.
Could you sort of help us figure out how close the service elevator is to the hallway of, old meme town detritus or whatever they call it these days?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I think I would know about this elevator because I know a bunch of janitors who used to work at this museum.
You know what?
Uh,
I think this is
this is a
perfect for a
flashback.
flashback right here. Yes, it's flashback. Like how long are we flashbacking to? This is going to be a scene with you and one of these janitors.
Um, we're flashing back to like a couple days ago between our meeting and this night of the heist. And I think I just found him. I know what bar he goes to because we're friends would be pushing it, but we know each other.
Okay.
And I think I had one of those like very shady person things of like, hey, I gotta talk to you about a thing. Can't be
Okay.
in
Yeah. Well,
writing.
we can play that out. So we'll be In the of course, what is this bar name again? It's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember. Of course,
That's the name of the bar.
tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
Okay, we're in the tip of my tongue. Geez,
an
that is a
awesome name
good
for a
bar title.
bar.
That's a good bar
That's
name.
really good.
That's really good. We're in the tip of the tongue. You enter in and you see. Is it Larry? Is it Larry
It
that's
is
working?
Larry.
Okay, it's
Yes.
Larry at the yeah. And he's kind of sitting by himself right now. Just he's watching the big game.
Oh, fun.
The game, There's only
The
one
game. There's one
game.
sport.
There's
There's
only
one
one
sport
sport.
left.
There's one sport survived the demon invasion.
Yeah.
And the death of
Sports
the sun.
Yeah, sports were kind of lost in the plague. But
Ghost Ball is what chat said.
It is
Yeah,
Ghost
they're watching
Ball.
Ghost Ball.
Ghost ball.
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
stand beside him for several minutes watching the game. And then
Does
I just
not
kind
notice
of
you.
Oh no, he doesn't. And then I just say, I had so much coin bet on the other team, and this has really ruined my night, Larry. Hello.
Oh, how'd you know my? Did you just have we met? Oh, hey.
Yeah, we've met.
I'm really bad with names. I apologize. Was it college? What was it?
It was
Where
a
did we meet?
while ago. You don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Listen,
Yeah, I had money on the juicers too, but
yeah,
that's
it's
the gambling
deeply
game.
unfortunate. Should not have bet.
The
Can
odds, 10-1. Surely they could have pulled something out.
I was hoping for a miracle. It didn't happen. Listen, can
All
I
right.
get you a drink? Because I have a question.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm sorry. I've been drinking quite. Did you literally? Obviously, I mentioned I don't quite know where to place you. Did you just say your name or not yet? I can't remember.
I have not, and I will not.
So you know my name, but I don't. That doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not fair, but I am
That's
buying you a drink.
okay. I guess that does make it fair, doesn't it? Okay. I think. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You want to sit down? There's empty seats, or you just gonna stand broodingly over my shoulder? That's cool too, I guess.
I just as broodingly sit down across
Broodingly
from
sitting
him.
next to me. Okay, cool. Yeah, I really thought the juice would pull that one out, but of course the Beyblades just they got the
Too
new
good.
kicker. They got the new kicker,
Yeah. It's very unfortunate for us.
Wait, you said something about a question?
Yeah. Yes, I did. You don't remember because you were drinking, but we met, and last time we talked, you told me your work that you cleaned at the museum.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
real
That's a
simple
weird
question,
detail.
really. No, yeah, I remember things. You're a fascinating person. I remember things about you.
Clean a museum, but okay.
If
That
I were to go in there and want to look at the forbidden section, the fun shit, how would I do that? I'm just very passionate about history.
Okay, I'm looking at the rolls you can make, and I'm thinking off the top of my brain, I'm thinking that maybe a sway right there.
All right.
I'm trying to figure out. So I see sway, and then there's command. I think sway, right? Isn't sway
Yeah,
more
I'm
like
playing him more than I'm
Yeah.
bullying
Okay.
him into this.
You got any points in sway?
I do not.
Do you want to push yourself for take a stress and get or take 2 stress and get an extra die on this?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, fuck it. Let's
I
do
could
that.
I could also give a devil's bargain so that you get an additional die. Trying to think of a good one.
Oh dear.
Okay, how about this?
Mhm.
Um, I could give you the option of getting another die, but Larry will like make a plan. Like, I can show you where the elevator is. Um, on the next night I'm working, which will be tonight, which would mean that now like this other person is like going to be aware of the plan. And that is a mechanic called devil's bargain. You don't have to take it. Um that would add another complication to the heist, but then give you 1 bonus die just for finding out this information, which you may not need. I think you're up to 2 die.
I'm up to
Guys.
2 die, and I'm just gonna risk it.
Okay.
It's too
Risk
early
it
for
for the
devil's
biscuit.
bargain. Yeah,
Risk-
I am risking it. And it's gonna pay off because one of them is a 6.
Oh, nice. Tells you exactly. Yeah, I mean, you did buy me a drink. Yeah, it's kind of like what have you I'm sorry. I did you say you were a cook at the museum? That's it, right?
Yeah.
That's it. You're
Yeah.
a cook, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's right. As soon as you leave the kitchen, you go to the right, it's 2 doors down on the left, and it looks like a door. You open it, it's an elevator. It's the wildest thing. It's so cool.
Fascinating. Incredible
I
feat of
don't get to
architecture.
yeah, I don't get to clean the storage room, but I get to clean the elevator itself. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool gig.
Fantastic.
And then
Thank you so much.
we'll go back to the current present time, and you'll just need to mark 1 stress for that flashback. I don't think that's anything too
right.
crazy.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, so I feel like after I've struggled with my lock picking, I'm just gonna float very carefully right down like the 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 route that he told me.
Gonna look so fucking cool on the CCTV cameras later.
No, I don't. Well, that's the thing too. I don't believe vampires show up on cameras.
We do not.
Are we going? Are we going with traditional rules? Because really, it depends on if they're analog or digital.
Yeah, there's.
Are we
also
going
a
with
thing about
Are we
luck.
going with the meme because this is new meme town? And in
Yeah.
It
the
is
meme,
New Meme Town.
Yeah,
That is
straight.
true.
according to the meme, we don't show up on the cameras.
Yes, so
So
let's do that because there
we show
are
up and sell
cameras
to the holy
throughout.
webs.
I've got that there are cameras, but noted that you all don't pop up on cameras. But I didn't know if like you all were going to bring in like Joe Schmoes who aren't vampires, so that was going to be playing. So
not
it
if
seems
we
like
can
right
help
now.
it.
Yeah, so it seems like right now we're
Yeah.
good. So yeah, you know exactly where this storage elevator is.
I'm gonna lead them there and figure out how to get the elevator to show up. Because if it just looks like a door, is there a button for it?
So you walk into it, and it's just always on this floor. Although, unless like somebody happens to be down, and then they just assume like, well, if someone's down there, then like you should be waiting, because it's not used more than like once a week at night
Got
off
it.
hours. So
Is it? I would assume it's probably one of those things where, like, if the elevator isn't in position to at
It's
a
not gonna
dock,
open?
then the door stays locked. So, like,
yeah,
if the door opens, the elevator's there, and if the elevator's down, then it'll just be
yeah. And when you go
locked.
to the door and open it up, the elevator's open. Like so that means to you 3 that nobody's down there at the moment.
Brilliant.
Nice.
All together, or should I go try to find my shit up here and meet you back?
Oh no, I think we should do it all together because I'm very, very curious about your letters.
All right. Onward and downward.
Okay. for my reminder, it is Sari's picture in the
Mhm.
ballroom.
Yes.
It is one's earring that's in storage.
Yes.
And Essie's letters that are in the okay.
hall.
I just wanted to
Yep.
refresh that. Okay. So yeah, you all pile in this elevator. There's 2 buttons, up and down. That's all it
I
says.
love it
up,
when they don't
down.
overcomplicate things.
Nice, nice, nice.
So you all can press down and go down to the storage. As soon as you the doors open up, you see a couple things. So I don't think anybody really has much info on you would imagine it would be to like down here. Um, you see in the center of the room a pole that's maybe about like 5 feet high. It kind of looks like a Tesla coil or like some kind of like lightning rod that's in the middle of the room. And then lining either side of the wall and the far wall are these. It kind of looks like those. Kind of looks like safes that have like you turn it for the combination, and also a handprint on each of them, and they're all labeled like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But you can't see into them.
Exciting. Nice. Oh, there's
Oh.
so many choices.
All
Oh,
right.
this pole isn't tall enough to be the fun kind of pole. Damn it.
You just have to get creative.
Um,
Person.
All right.
I don't know if anybody knows what that pole is.
I, the player, have several guesses, none of which do I like.
Yep.
I'm curious.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
see.
just
Ooh,
kind of pulling up a bunch of different like
DM.
rules pages and
I have a dot on study. Can I figure out what it is?
Oh, I have a couple of dots on study
let's
as
see
well.
what a study do. Or is it
What does
survey?
study do?
They're
No.
different.
Oh, they
They're
are
different.
different. Okay.
I have survey dots, so if we divide and conquer skills.
Yeah, survey's
When
like,
you
hey, look, it's a
study, you
poll. And study goes, look what that poll does.
Got it.
Okay. So study. When you study, you scrutinize details and interpret evidence. You might gather information. Okay. So yeah, I think study is the one we want to do. If anybody does want to study it, I think it would be controlled. I don't think it really is. It's not like you're gonna like.
Mm-hmm.
If you guess it wrong, it's not like Jeopardy where you lost money or something like that.
We're not identifying the wild animal while it's trying to bite us.
Yeah, it's not like you guys are
Nice.
going up and like poking it and kicking it to figure out.
Not yet.
So I think it would be controlled, and I think it would be standard. So controlled, standard. So you just need to roll your die for study, however
Okay.
many markings you've got in it.
Cool.
All right.
I got a 5.
Both my rolls were lower than that.
Okay. So Sorry can tell that this is it's kind of like a leash for ghost. It's a ghost rod. Which means that they have got a ghost on the security payroll, so to speak, down here, that is anchored
Okay.
to this rod.
Dope. All right. Cool. Sweet. Nice. Okay. Yes. So there's definitely a ghost tether right there. That's fun.
Oh, that's clever and annoying. All right.
So maybe a specific radius around that, but I don't know how far.
So that means they've probably got a ghost guard down here keeping an eye on things.
Oh, that could be so much fun. Ooh, let me think.
Well, I mean,
Mm.
generally spirits don't really bother with me. I don't know if you all have had this experience, but ever since I've been, um, it's like I'm invisible.
Oh.
Almost like I'm just a void and the echo of the supernatural beings on this
I
plane, said the one person who went and read her character sheet really quick.
was like, wait, yeah.
I
You know what?
don't know if it's that kind of spirit. I mean, there's lots of different types of ghosts, right? I used to be a poltergeist in a former life, or so I've been told. So who knows?
Cool.
Anyway, I'm honestly more concerned about those pole blocks over there because we don't know which safe your item is in, and I could probably get you the palm that's needed. I don't know about the dial though.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I can do dials. I've got dials.
All
you can do
right,
dials.
I got dials.
excellent.
It's just a matter of how much time you want to spend down here. It's a lot of dials.
It is a lot of dials, and also
Mhm.
I'm hoping that like it's the same people's hands could work for all of them, because then I only have to get one person down here, or at least one hand down here. I guess I don't even need to get the whole person down here technically. Depends on just how messy we want to get this. I was trying to avoid wet work, but whatever it takes, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
I was kind of not expecting separate lockers down here.
I was really expecting just like big wooden crates full of stuff we were going to have to sift through. That's kind of what I was hoping for. It's probably a little old school of me, but
But it is a museum, so
they don't update things that regularly. I figured we'd be in the clear. We just had to get in.
I may or may not have a dumb idea.
Oh, let's hear it. I love dumb ideas.
I can't decide if this is table talk or in character. So
it's both.
it's a
Just
dumb
keep
idea
switching
both ways.
accents and then
Here we
we'll
go.
decide.
Yeah.
We'll
Okay.
figure it out.
Yeah. All right. So Sari has their bandolier and she's looking around and listening to Essie mastermind it. And then like she's like sticks her hand in like the pocket of it, and you see it's like she's unscrewing a lip balm. And if you were paying attention to what she's doing, it's Spark, which is
Mm.
the drug of choice on the street. And just
Okay.
kind of like rubs her finger on it and just kind of like starts applying to the lips and like if we're in the dark, what you'd notice is that it kind of like does like the thing like if you bite down on a wintergreen lifesaver in the dark, like it sparks because chemistry is fun. And so what she's thinking about doing, this is table talk, is just that because Spark makes you a little bit electrically conductive. So I'm very curious if I can kind of
Like
override
short
this little
out
pad.
or
Oh,
Okay.
fun.
Cool. Gotcha.
Yes.
So
I'm
now
thinking
we
about
know
that.
what you're trying to do. Let us again look up the different kind.
Yeah, I wanted to explain it first. That way somebody could go, no.
Yeah. Okay. So I looked up
We're
a
not gonna go
tune.
no, is the thing.
Well, the thing is, I think
You know-
Essie is gonna notice that you've got drugs, but she's just gonna notice you've got drugs and be like, "I don't care what you do with them as long as you share." Like that's
So valid. My vice is weird, so I see this going on. I'm like, yeah.
I love the weird.
We
vice.
built such
I'm
good
just
characters.
Weird.
These are great characters.
Okay, I'm
We're
trying
not
to
gonna get
figure
anything
out
done, but it's gonna be great.
We're gonna
The
die down
Yeah.
here. It's gonna be great.
the
The weirdest
farm-
sitcom ever. It's like leverage and
Yeah,
Anything
everybody
else?
vote in the Discord if you want us to bring these characters back for a
Yes.
longer run, so that
I'm telling
Adam
you,
knows if
this-
he can't TPK us.
this like system is so much better
Funny.
for like a long campaign with
Yep.
like a crew
Oh, yeah.
and like you
bet,
like
I
it's so
bet.
cool. Like it's really really cool. Let's see if Tinker is gonna work for this. When you tinker, you fiddle with devices and mechanisms. You might create a new gadget or alter an existing item. You might
There
pick a
you go.
lock or crack a safe. You might disable an alarm or a trap. You might turn the spark craft and ectoplasm plasmic devices around the city to your advantage. I think tinker is what we're looking for. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a lot of tinker, Katie?
I have 2 tinker,
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic.
which is the
Also,
most that I have under anything.
I do realize I don't think that means that you roll to so I think what it means is if you've got 0 in a stat, then you
Mhm.
roll 2 die and you take the lowest.
I
If
see.
you've got 1 in the stat, then you roll 1 die. And if
Roll
you got
flat.
2 in the stat, you roll 2. So I think we have been doing it right, which is surprising.
So
to
far,
me.
yeah.
So yeah,
Because I
so
think
that
everybody's
would
only
be,
rolled on skills that they had 2 on
Yep.
so far.
yeah. And then you could also push yourself for a stress or for 2 stress, sorry, or have help where that person takes 1 stress and gives you 1 die.
If you share your drugs, I'll give you help.
I was gonna say, I was like, I don't know how people would help, but I guess if you are sharing drugs, then
Well,
I
was
think-
gonna say, Essie sees that you're applying the lip balm, sees a little spark, and goes, "Oh, I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm here for it," and just holds out her hand.
I just
I
kind of
mean, we're down here for my earrings, so
I
everyone
finished
also
with the
holds
lip
out their
smacker.
hand.
Did everyone
just
get okay? Is
I'm just gonna
everybody?
I'm gonna straight up just when I see both hands, I'm like confused. So I just kind of rub the little EOS egg on both of your palms. I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay.
All
So what this will be is everyone's gonna be dropping some drugs and trying
Just a
to
little bit.
overload.
The drug.
This is one of the safes, right?
Little
Okay.
palm print.
What safe? Do you know which safe you're trying to open, or is it just like a random one?
I went to the closest one on the left when we're looking in the room, just because that's how Katie approaches a room.
Yeah.
Bottom
left. Me trying to not drive too much narrative, but also
Do I
me
need
knowing...
to pick another box?
No. It was also me knowing that we're all 4 new to this game. I was gonna say this is a situation that maybe if you could come up with some flashback, I don't know what, but maybe you could find out what.
Can this be how I help if I flashback to
Yeah,
having an
maybe that's
idea?
how you help. Maybe you don't even have to indulge on the drug, or maybe
I'm still taking the drugs.
Yeah,
Oh no,
you
that's
still take the drugs.
That's my vice. I'm still taking drugs. But not to step on Katie's moment, but this feels like the thing that fits well with Essie's. She knows all of these people, knows in the carnal sense, and so I think maybe we, as she sees what Sari is starting to do and kind of catches up to what the plan is, she thinks back to oh god, where would it would have been like a much classier sort of bar, the place that you go out for drinks after work with your lawyer buddies, someplace where she's schmoozing, rubbing elbows with more the richer end of the clientele.
Okay.
And definitely because she knew this was upcoming, that she was trying to put the pieces in place for this to happen. She started looking around for any of the museum board members that she knows, somebody who's around who would know about this changeover of these exhibits that's going to happen. And she is going to find that guy and basically just slink her way into whatever booth or side of the bar he's at and really get into conversation with him about what's going on at the museum, because I do love history.
Okay, why don't we I know last time we had kind of a conversation and then did a roll. How about this time we do the roll first to find out how the conversation goes. And I think again sway, right? When you sway,
I would love to sway.
Yeah, you influence someone with guile, charm, or argument, and you might lie convincingly. You might persuade someone to do it. Yeah, this is it's sway. Yeah.
Yeah, she just undoes the top 2 buttons of her blouse and then goes and sits down next to him. She's like, "So I hear they're changing over the exhibits at the museum this week." That's gonna be a 4.
A 4. Okay, we'll say I was gonna say that this is gonna be controlled, due to a couple things. This person has been
Mhm.
drinking. Um, so with the 4, okay. So what did you say to this person, and who is this person? So I'd know.
I think the person she spots is one of the like he's a board member who has put enough money into the museum that they let him kind of pretend like he's a curator. So they don't actually let him pick what's going in. They tell him what's going in so that he can talk about the exhibit like he chose it and feel really important.
Okay.
Like
He's a
I'm
little
looking
docent.
yeah, I'm looking for a guy who's got a lot of money and likes showing off how much he knows about things.
Oh yeah,
Because I
yeah.
want to get
The
him to
real
brag
pompous,
to me.
yeah,
Yeah, I want to get him like I'm gonna really butter him up to get him to brag to me about the stuff that's happening.
yeah.
Um,
So it's like an older white guy. His face
no,
looks
is it?
very red, just like from just high blood pressure or whatever. And as soon as you sit down, he just seems ecstatic, like just to have any company. Because right now he's just been sitting at a booth, which is weird, like by himself. Say, oh, hey, um, Ezzy, Ezzy.
Yes, from the firm. We helped you with that little that nasty little business last year. Don't worry, no
Yeah,
one even remembers. But how
yeah,
are you?
the fake
You know, it really
wrongly,
can happen to
yeah.
anybody these days. Those forgers are getting so clever at these things. Not as clever
So,
as all of you, though.
oh, of course not. How is it? How long is it? What was that? 6 months ago?
Oh, at
5,
least
5,
5, 6.
7.
What
It was
really
7.
is time anyway?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. How's it been going? I haven't seen you since the case.
I've been dreadfully busy, just so many cases piling up. I'm really looking for a moment to, relax, unwind. I was thinking of maybe coming to the museum sometime. I haven't been since the judge put down the verdict, and I thought I should come see. Any new exhibits coming in that I shouldn't
Oh my
miss?
goodness, we've got so much cool stuff coming. We've got a fucking what are they called? The dinosaurs with the horns? The 3 horns.
Triceratops?
We got one of those.
Amazing.
We got one of those. You come see that. It's cool. You like
And
vampire stuff?
oh, how
We
did
got
you
some vampire
know?
stuff. We got some nudie drawings that are pretty cool.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
Historic,
it's
I
like
hope.
nudie. So you don't really ever get to see like pictures of vampires, right? Because like
No, because you can't take
you can't fucking take a
photographs.
picture, but you can paint them. You can paint them if you find one. So
So
yeah, that's pretty
brilliant. Never
cool.
thought of that
It's
before.
actually right next to the Triceratops. I don't know what's cooler. Um,
That is a delightful combination of two of my favorite things. Massive
yeah,
killing machines and dinosaurs.
we got some jewelry for like it's like a miscellaneous.
Jewelry.
It's
Oh, I
kind of
love jewelry.
yeah, but it's just like a miscellaneous. It's kind of like if you picture like a junk drawer of just like random
Junk drawer.
like a missing like not a pair of earrings or like a single earring and then like
Oh.
maybe like I don't know. It's just
What is
like
it that you do with something like that? Obviously with jewelry, it's so inherently valuable, and you know how the crime rates have been here these days. How do you keep anything like that safe?
I mean, we got like safes and stuff, and then when we put it
Safes.
on display, obviously, like in the display room, we've got like fucking uh like sound decibel meters and stuff in the room, so
Oh,
that doesn't
of
really matter. It's
course.
just really
Yes.
more of like securing it when it's like locked down, and then it's. I mean,
Yes. In the where is it that you would keep safes though in a place like that? I mean, it's been so long since I've been there, but it seemed like a very open sort of place. You must have
No, no,
very
no,
clever
no,
ways of
no.
keeping things hidden.
No, we keep our like stuff that's not on display yet. We like keep that in the basement, and
Oh,
yeah,
clever.
they're in lockbox, kind of weird. Like if you ever watched a movie with safes in it, it looks like that. It looks like that.
Fantastic. So
Yeah.
media does reflect life. How clever.
Yeah, I mean it's draws inspiration from real
I bet
life.
you know what's
Yes.
in every single one of those safes, don't you?
There's only stuff in one right now. So yeah, I
Oh.
do. Yeah, it's not like a big brag or flex or anything because there's only one. But
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's more than I knew. I think that's quite brilliant.
Yeah.
How do they
Yeah.
choose? Do they just, when you have so many safes and you're only using one, how do you even pick? I know
We go in order. We just go in order. One item,
of
safe
course.
one.
So
Two
clever.
items, safe 1 and 2. 3 items, safe 1, 2, and 3.
Silly me. See, this is why
4
I could never
items,
go
safe
into
1,
the
2, 3,
art
4.
business. I'm just not clever
5
enough
items,
for it.
1,
I
2,
will have
3,
to stick
4,
to
5.
law.
Yeah, it's not that hard. Hey, did you see the game the other day?
I did. I think the
Beyblades versus
Beyblades are
the
going to the
Juicers.
finals, aren't they?
Yeah,
That's
it's
so clever.
awesome.
Garçon, could we get 2 more red wines over
No,
here?
I don't. I think
No,
I should.
oh no, you should
Uber
absolutely.
home.
I could call
I think
you.
that's
Then
what-
I'll drink the wine. I'll get you a car. Would you like to
Okay.
get a car? Would you like to get a car with me? We could share.
Yeah, we can do that.
Wonderful.
If you're leaving right now, because I feel like I may vomit.
Oh, I mean, I can leave whenever.
No, okay. Yeah, let's. I should get home now. And
right.
we will
a car
flashback.
and 2 wines.
We will flashback. Current time. So now you know.
So now
the
we're
item
standing
is in
here.
safe number 1.
I've got drug
Just-
lip balm on my palm, and I will just gently steer sorry toward safe 1 and just go, I think try that one first. Just go in order, and then just fully like
I think
lick
that
my
would be
palm.
let's do 2 stress for that because that was really good info you got to pinpoint
That was
exactly
good.
which safe it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do 2 stress for that
I will
flashback.
happily take 2 stress. That was worth it.
Okay.
And then with the drug, the overload of the safe,
Mm-hmm.
I think with the great roll on that, I think that is already able to. We did roll on that, right?
No.
Nope.
I don't think so.
We didn't
haven't
roll on that
rolled
yet. Okay.
No, because I was trying to.
'Cause we were
flashback to
helping.
help
Find
action.
okay.
So
Yeah,
that-
for some reason I thought we had already rolled.
I mean, if you want
okay,
to just
so
give
you
it
got-
to us.
No. I mean, it sounds like I
You
think
were so
I
honest
think
and good.
I know you guys are really
Damn
good
it.
vampires.
So
No, I
responsible.
think I think Sorry's got enough die that I'm feeling pretty confident on this. But let's go ahead and roll it. I think it is. So we said it was Tinker, right?
Yes.
It was Tinker, and you're getting help
Mhm.
from both.
Yes.
So it's your Tinker plus 2 die.
Okay.
Dice.
Okay. I got that then. Okay. Here we go. Dun, dun, dun. Ooh. I have a 6, 2 5s, and a 3.
Okay. So
Amazing.
Yeah.
okay. So that just you overload this thing. And the safe pops open. And
Made it sound like a
inside,
bug zapper.
exactly like I already forget the dude's name.
We did not name him. He was just,
Okay, we
that's
didn't
just
name
word
him.
for
That's
word.
good. Exactly like they described. It's kind of just like a junk drawer of jewelry, just like all jumbled together. But one you would be able to see exactly your earring.
Yeah, I immediately take offense to the way they've stored this.
Same. Oh God.
This
These
is
necklaces are going to be a nightmare.
Why
Should
would
we,
you-
while we're here, should we
just
take
take
a bunch of
everything?
them?
Just take everything. I'm.
Fucking just. I mean, we're
Look,
doing
they're probably
heists. Let's go and steal everything.
They probably belong to someone. Either we're going to find other folks of our ilk who are missing their valuable personal items and we can return them to the people who they were so ungraciously stolen from, or we get to make ourselves a nice little profit on the side because I guarantee that between the three of us, we know half a dozen places to dispose of these
for
exactly
sure.
what they're worth without anybody being any the wiser.
They'll
So,
disappear into the smog and you'll never see them again.
perfect.
So I'm gonna first of all pick out my earring, reattach it to the ear that did not have an earring, and then I have like some sort of fucking harness with pouches on it, currently empty. I'm just gonna shovel a bunch of necklaces in there.
Smart.
Okay.
This
Smart.
wad of tangled necklaces.
Yeah, I'm like upset about it.
later.
This is the first time you're seeing one express like any sort of like mild emotion, and it's just
I just lean over to Sorry. Was that a flicker of disgust on one's face? I didn't know it could move that direction. Remarkable.
Oh, did it make that? I thought that was just the drugs. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I thought I
you're
was just
very
seeing,
high right
like,
now, aren't you?
if y'all were done
Always.
discussing me, shall we?
Yes,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
It's just so nice to
Thank you
see-
very much for this. Should we go get your porn?
I would love to go get my porn.
Okay. Next up, are we getting the porn?
I mean,
That's
it's
on
both
display in the
porn. It's all
party.
It's all
porn.
porn.
Or
Listen,
are we going to get the written porn that's
think
on
you're getting-
display?
I think we want to get the letters next, just so that we can then maybe create a distraction to get people
Yes.
away from
Okay.
the painting.
I don't know what kind of puritanical world new meme town is, but in the old days when my sketch was made, it was art.
Hey, listen, I
still
never
art,
said that porn
darling.
is not art.
I think somebody else called it porn.
I believe
Oh,
we started
I-
with smut and we've just progressed through all the different possible terms.
Also, smut and porn are both arguably art sometimes.
I mean, there was a time when my letters would have been published as like the erotic visions of a nun, say, but the time that they would put on display was not that time
I'm
period.
getting warmer now. I'm getting warmer.
I mean, you're about to read them.
I'm so excited.
Can we just go get my letters so that I
Yes,
don't
yes,
have
yes,
to
yes, yes.
deal with this again? Thank you. Everyone back
So-
in the elevator.
Yes, the letters are the letters
Letters
being
are-
a like they're actually on display in an exhibit at the moment. That means that you all would know exactly where it is. It is a hall that is it's kind of off like the main if you're picturing this as like a museum map, in the center is where there's a lobby, like with the main entrance. You go in, there's a lobby. There is an information desk, and then there are separate wings. One wing is the more grand. It's got the big triceratops skeleton and the actual drawings in that one where the party's happening. And then there's another wing to the right that is like the more kind of congested, like, lots of different displays of like a bunch of different kind of themes and artifacts that are lining the walls. And that is where you all know the letters to be.
Ooh,
All right. I say we just slip in. There's probably going to be. I imagine these things are going to be under glass. We're going to have to be very quiet so we don't trigger any of their weirdo
Okay.
sound-related security systems. Might need
I
some more
can-
lock-picking skills.
I can help with bypassing security measures.
Oh, excellent.
nice.
Mm.
I think I have a glass cutter.
Wonderful. I have a diamond ring.
Ooh,
That's about it.
That's
Which
Pretty
I-
sure I have a bunch of diamonds now.
I think at least two
Yeah,
of those
there's a
necklaces
couple-
were diamonds. So we probably
Maybe
got a lot
some
of
are fake,
options.
some are real, but yes, you got.
We're going to find out.
Um, as you all are walking from this weird door elevator area towards like the focal point of the museum, it's got the
Mhm.
information booth, and then it splits to the two wings.
Mhm.
You see that it's kind of in like the lights are on, but they're not like open lights, you know what I mean? So it's like kind of dim, but enough where
Security
you all can,
lights.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
security lights. You all can see where you're walking, but obviously it's closed. When you are heading towards that museum exhibit, the wing, you would have to cross through the lobby, and you see that there's like the receptionist desk, and
Mm.
in that area you see two powered down. It looks like just like robots, like AI kind of.
Mm.
It's cool. It's cool shit. It's cool robot shit.
It's
But
cool
they're
robot
currently
shit.
powered down. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Does it look like cool robot shit that's part of the security team?
No, you all three, I think, have probably been to this museum before, and you know that these are like the helper AI robots. They
Okay.
like can give information on artifacts and they're kind of like Alexas, but also
Okay.
with cool beefy robot bodies. But
It's
they're
like
turned
the
off
ones
at
you
the
get at
moment.
Welcome.
supermarkets.
Yes, yes. But they're like 5'8", like they're
God.
actually like kind of tall, like robot bodies. Yeah, but they're currently powered down, and it's still
Okay.
security light. So you all can just
Yeah.
go to whichever wing you'd like.
Just gonna
Should
gently
we-
waft. Yes.
Yeah, should we consult the scriptures to see what it is that we are capable of doing as far as walking through this lobby?
I have an idea which might not be worth the stress,
Mm.
but out of character, we do have terrible power as vampires, which allows us to perform a feat of superhuman strength, such as being very, very fast. So we could technically just flash
Zip it.
through this.
Yeah.
But it
Mhm.
is one stress. But we
Is
would
it-
be zipping.
It seems like everyone's pretty good on stress. I think.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like one shots in this system probably aren't super like
Yeah.
stress limiting. Like I feel like you
Or
probably
really
have
is-
enough stress that you
Yeah.
can kind of like throw it around a little bit.
I'm certainly willing to give it a go. I think
Mhm.
Essie is is concerned about the amount of time we've spent already,
Yeah.
and so would like to.
I
get
think
things quick.
literally speeding through this lobby and to where we know your shit is would take us like half a second if we're
Let's do that. Let's do that. If you would like
Yeah.
everybody to spend, is it just one stress?
One
it is
stress.
one stress.
If everybody wants to just spend one stress, you all can just bamf
Yes.
right to the.
Yes.
We just all stop at the doorway, kind of look and go like 3, 2, 1. We just like
Do-do-do.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes,
So
yes.
you all are at the doors, and it's big double doors that people can obviously get into and out of this wing very easily. When you peek in, you can see that the lights are all off at the moment. There's not even like any kind of security lights. Like it's pretty pitch black. But I'm guessing, I don't know if you all can like. I don't know if like vampires in this system are capable of just like seeing just fine in the dark or what.
The answer
Oh.
is yes.
Yeah, it seems like you all can probably.
I feel like we should be fine.
Yeah,
Well,
your
since
creatures
we
of the
have
night.
and since we have arcane sight where you can spend a stress to see in pitch blackness, that allows me to assume that we can see in dim light already,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
therefore we only have to stress if it's beyond that. So
Yep. And I think that's fine. I think like just even like the light coming in from the hallway into this like is at least enough light for you all. And just this is it's an L-shaped room in here, and you can see that there are these display cases that are kind of only like 1 foot apart from each other, that are lining each side, and they're all in glass like you all imagined. And it goes and wraps around. Um, hmm. I rules as Blades in the Dark goes. I'm trying to think if I'm supposed to ask you all for a roll or if I shouldn't be asking you all for this roll. Somebody, I believe it was one, in that conversation with the janitor.
Larry.
Didn't
Larry.
Larry mention sound, like sound measuring devices?
My board guy did.
That
when
was
I
the
asked
board
him-
guy.
Okay,
When I
that was
asked
the
him about
board guy.
how he keeps things safe, like jewelry.
Okay, it's really hard
Yeah.
when I, Adam, the GM, have also been drinking and then also played two different people that were also drinking and like trying to remember who gave information and what. So, Essie, you would know that this room has like decibel readers throughout,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see, like, looking into this room, you can see that it's got like hard marble floors. So just like even like taking a step is going to be, pretty loud and kind of echoey throughout this hall.
Here's the thing. Vampires is meme. We can fly.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yep.
say if the meme is law, we can
If
fly
the
and we
meme
can
is
scale
law,
Let's
the
do
we
it.
can
laws.
fly.
Yeah, let's do it.
Essie just goes, all right, we're going to be very quiet. Takes off her high heels, puts them in one hand, and then just
hovers.
levitates.
Amazing.
Yay.
Meme is law, as Danny
Meme is
said.
law.
Yes, meme is law. All right.
Welcome to
you all-
New Meme
t-shirts.
Town. Meme is law. Our
New
first
merch.
merch.
And it's not even like any kind of like stress or anything, right? Like you all can just fucking
Yeah.
hover, right?
Yeah.
If it's in the meme, we get it for free.
Yes, I love it. Especially it helps us with time and everything. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
all can just hover and glide silently to the case that has the Essie's. Did we call them smut letters or
Yeah.
love letters?
What it is, she referred to them as letters from former lovers originally, and then it's just gotten worse every time we describe them.
Yeah.
Well, there was a heavy implication that you wanted them back because they're personal.
Oh yeah.
And we just assumed.
No, I think what you see in the display case is there's like this kind of leather folio, like very old, like think like
Yes.
1700s like
Yeah.
leather folio wrap thing, whatever, very old but very well cared for, that clearly has a bunch of things in it. And then there's a handful of these documents that are in like, those like carefully temperature controlled, like process. So you basically, you can see that there is a cache of several of them, and there's like 4 that are visibly on display. And these are, think very like Victorian era, like
Yes.
semi-erotic secret love letter sort of thing, where it is very poetic and like sexy, but in like a weird way. That's one of them. One of them is kind of that same thing, but like Middle Ages style. Like I'm having a vision of like God, but it's all like weird sex language.
Deeply erotic.
Sort of thing. Like, so they're all just different variants that from like different periods of history, but all of them are just like, this is like hot and also uncomfortable. And they're all signed from letter S, letter E, Jacobs.
Oh, Essie.
Yeah. That's what this is.
Can hover right up to the case, but yeah, it is just it looks like just like a glass, kind of like a rectangular prism that's like over top of, and it's turned to Essie. It's turned to the least, like the page that you would most like to stay private.
Oh, that was from that. That was a particularly embarrassing phase of my life.
I want to see who signed it. I'm just kind of looking at it. Just trying to like.
Oh, these are all written by me. These were all written by me.
okay.
Wrote it to someone.
No, that's the key. Is these are all of the letters that I wrote to other people and then recollected after their deaths. So I have a whole archive.
Who does it say at the top? Who said?
It's so
That's an
like
Essie
my
thing.
dearest. Wow.
This was a very bizarrely explicit letter written to one of Queen Victoria's sons.
Good.
It's real explicit in a very Victorian way.
You naughty thing.
I'm not saying that was my proudest moment, but it was at least a good deal of fun.
Isn't this the prince that had that crazy conspiracy theory floating around that maybe he was Jack the Ripper the whole time?
I
Didn't miss that one.
And also,
Is
was
it a
he?
conspiracy theory if it's true?
There you go. That answers my question.
Okay, just like I said, it was a weird time in my life. We're going to have to be absolutely silent to get these out, or we're just going to have to literally smash and grab.
Oh, well,
While Sari is reading this letter and having a little history conversation, I'm just gonna try to like scope what the security shit is and what I can bypass so I can crack this display case open.
I think
as
that's
fast as
survey.
possible.
You observe the
Yes.
situation and anticipate outcomes. Yeah, I think survey is perfect for this.
Amazing. I have 2 dots in this, so it's 2 dice. That's a 4 and a 5.
Yeah, so I think you could see that not only just looking at the box, but like looking around the room too. Obviously, you can see that in each corner of the ceiling are these little. There is a camera next to it, and then right under the camera is also this like little box that has a blinking red light that Essie probably mentioned were the decibel meters. And then other than those, you can tell that this glass, it looks like just like regular glass that is setting on top of each display item. But you don't see like, it's not like you can like grab it from the sides and pick it up. Like it looks like the glass goes down under the podium that it's sitting on. So you don't know exactly how like they get the glass off whenever they do.
Got it.
interesting.
Wow.
Do I need to wreck it?
Here's the thing. Very, very quietly, here's the thing. I could go up to the red boxes and tinker with 1 or 2 of them, switch them off, so that if we break this, at least an alarm doesn't go off, because the alarm will be disabled.
Good option.
So that's an option. Or we can spend a little bit more time and I can figure out how this case does open, because there must be a safer way.
Or hear me out. This is the bad idea version, but I just want to put it out there because we're kind of at that point, and I think I'm getting that little tingle in the back of my brain that means I'm going to need to snort some more drugs in a minute. What if we just smashed the case and let the alarm go off, and then we'll speed our way back to the other hall as everyone comes running in here to see why the alarm's going off?
I'm only worried that the only thing that will have been tinkered in here will be your case with your stuff.
We can all 3 smash different cases all at once.
Very much. I love that.
Have a good old-fashioned smashing party.
I do also have this. One of my items is an unusual weapon. So she's got like a little like shoulder bag. Again, very lawyery, right? She reaches in and pulls out what looks like it's a big ancient tome. She reaches up into the spine and pulls out a handle. It's a flail made out of a giant like old Webster's dictionary. I can smash like 3 or 4 things at once with this.
That is another point. I don't think we've talked about items at all yet tonight, but any items that you all think of can just like say, I've got this on me.
I did actually put these in my character sheet just
I do also
I
have mine put in. Yep, and I have a silence potion vial, which 10
Oh.
paces. It's described as negating all sound within 10 paces of the
What?
Wait, did we
consumer
just
of it.
Yes.
we use that and then just smash the one?
Yes.
Yes, so I feel like
Holy
as we're
shit! I love
giving all of the
it.
bad ideas,
Yeah, we
one
had
just
to get
goes,
all the bad ideas out before we got the good
or
idea.
and again, harness full of little pouches. I just like open one of them up and I pull out this little vial of golden liquid. And I'm assuming both of you all know what it is because it's not like a deeply uncommon item. So I'm just like
That's
holding
my
it up.
favorite for parties.
Oh, that's very good. I've also used that at parties. I wonder if we use it for the same thing. We can talk about that later.
Ooh.
Truly, we can read about how you've used it, and I hand you the potion.
That I don't think they've displayed those letters. They're more contemporary and therefore less interesting, apparently. All right. So we are going to do a smash and grab. Yes.
Mhm.
And then maybe we get closer to the entrance and then we smash a bunch of things not using this to set off the alarm.
I'm
Or we can
not
just leave and do something else to cause a distraction.
I also
I'm
have
not
a
sure
bomb.
how the alarm will work. We do have a bomb. Maybe you deal with your smashing because it's your stuff. It's your smashing. And maybe we just break a bunch of other stuff because I'm not sure if this is gonna cover all of the.
Oh no, I mean I just mean like if we're trying to, you know what, we'll figure this out as we go. Uncork,
There you go.
pour it on top of like the case, I guess, so that's
Yeah,
the
it's weird.
center
It says
radius
it,
of the
it says it's within
10
space,
A radius
paces.
of a
paces of
person.
yeah.
Also, I might be misusing this, but
Whatever.
Yeah.
Sounds
Either I'm
good.
dumping it on the thing or I'm standing hovering right next to the thing, and I
Yeah.
chug it, whatever is supposed to go on.
Sounds fucking
And then
perfect.
I'm just probably like pull like a handkerchief out of my pocket, very classic, wrap it around my hand and just punch through the glass.
Okay.
sexy.
Nice.
Yeah. And
Nice.
it's weird when you do that, when you punch it, Essie, it's kind of alarming, like how weird it is punching it and seeing the glass shatter, but hearing no noise whatsoever. But there you are. You've got your smut back.
Yep, I will take the 4 that were on display and just very gently sort of take them, tuck them into the leather folio, wrap that up, tuck it into my bag.
And you all are levitating still, so
Yes, we're just hovering.
I'm just kind of sitting incorrectly in the air.
Amazing.
and we won't talk about how incorrectly it is. That's left up to the imagination again.
Yep.
If you know, you know.
I would love to see the art of this. If anyone wants to.
I want this entire heist to be made into either a limited series or a motion flick. Like it needs to be.
I would
wanna
be
watch this
happy with a
heist.
canvas webtoon. I'd be.
Yeah.
Webtoon. I would take a webtoon. Okay.
Okay. So this is where this actually does come up. We may need to actually do a rules lawyering moment on how this vial works, because if it is 10 paces based off of me, then I feel like, depending on if there's a duration, I should be able to chug this, punch this, and then I can just hover down the line and punch through a bunch of other things. Again, in the attempt of we're trying to hide what exactly was the target item.
Oh, that's a good idea. So this is an actual item in the.
It is, but we might be misusing it. But also, here's the thing: I do like your
Let me search
plan
for it.
of. I do like your plan of
Setting off the
using
alarm.
this to draw everyone else.
Yeah, I'm good
So-
either way, and I will take consequences of like actually setting off the alarm because I think we can spin it. I am the
Yeah.
queen of spin. That's how I've kept my job for the last 100 years.
When you all like read that item to me, it sounded like it sounded to me like you
What
like
it
smash it
is
somewhere or something, and
a
it
vial
just,
of golden liquid, right? That negates all sound within 10 paces of the drinker for a span of several moments.
drinker.
This is
So
all
I'm
about
assuming-
inciting shit.
Okay.
It's like an aura around you.
Yes,
If you're
so I
like,
think it is like Essie said, where Essie can drink it and then go around punching
Yeah.
a bunch
Yeah.
of boxes.
So I think this is what
Nice.
happens is I punch through, I grab my letters and go, great, I've probably got a few more seconds. Let's just book it for the door. And I am going to proceed down and I am just going to smash everything as I go. And once I'm going to continue smashing even after the silence wears off. because I'm
Amazing.
going to actively trigger the alarm.
But we do want the alarm triggered.
Are we down for that plan?
Yes.
It's a dumb plan.
I want, obviously, like, I want to know, like, what you all want to happen. But obviously, if you all want the alarm to be triggered, I don't think that's going to be a problem at all.
I feel like if we trigger the alarm, we can use all of our terrible power to be basically unseen by the normies as they rush in, and we rush out, floating and very fast.
I don't have a reputation to cover necessarily, but yeah.
Yeah, but we don't want you arrested.
Oh no, but I've got lots of fun shit for, like, if people tried to,
It's a bad point. You also know a very good lawyer.
I do now.
Well, let's just...
Yeah, so I think the plan is I'm just going to go down the line smashing things, and I'm going to grab stuff out of some of the cases. Like, some stuff I'm going to knock over. Some, like, if there's small items, I'm just going to grab them, shove them in my bag. Again, the illusion that this is a full-on assault on the museum and not just our specific stuff.
Yep.
And then when we get close enough to the door or we start hearing people come in, we're going to just speed out.
Okay. Yeah, well, I don't think that's a roll. I think we can punch the shit real easy, and then
I'll take
it'll be
stress
quiet.
for it.
We can help. I'll punch something.
Yeah, go for it. Here, I could just I'll whip out the book flail and just hit like 2 at once.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we don't really need a roll for this. I feel like you've drank the potion, which is a very good find. Because I have never heard of this, so that's awesome that you guys.
It's in the Lurk playbook. It's one of the suggested items.
Nice.
I love that even for a one shot, you all get to at least like use some of your playbook shit. So that's fantastic.
So much fun shit in my bandolier.
I really want to let you set off a bomb, but I think it has to be the last thing we do.
It's okay.
So, cut to the action. As soon as the sound dampening potion wears off, you all break a couple more boxes just to trigger the alarm. And you've got, I'm picturing just lots of shit, like kind of in pockets and various different like sewn in pockets in your vest and shit.
So based on the way this is described, one has like the tactical like vest with all the little pouches.
Yep.
Sorry has like the bandoliers with all these little like vials and carabiners and stuff. And
Drugs.
Essie is just wearing like a full like a little black dress, slinky evening gown with this like very sexy like leather strap bag, and then just like keeps pulling the shit randomly out of like the Mary Poppins bag.
Yay.
I've been picturing this entire game like
holding her
Essie,
heels
like,
still in her other hand.
like dressed for the ball.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, dressed for the party.
For sure.
If Essie needs to go to the party, Essie's ready to go to the party.
Oh, that was absolutely part of the plan, because if I needed to cause a distraction by going and creating chaos at the party, I needed to look like I was invited. So
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So we'll say that as soon as you all get towards the exit, the potion wears off, you all smash another case or two, the alarm trips, and so this room wasn't really lit up before, other than like any light spilling in from the corridor. Now there is this, even outside of the corridor, like in like the main lobby area, all of the lights now are have been dimmed and turned red, and there are those little kind of like stroby alarms that are like lining not only this room, the lobby, every inch of the corridors and hallways that you all can see. They're all lit up and they're all flashing, and there is just a alarm going off. And I'll give you all a couple moments before you start to see anybody's reaction, whatever you would like to, however you all would like to approach this scenario?
Let's see. Do we want to
Well,
tuck ourselves away, or we want them to be seen?
I'm assuming that we didn't have like real time to talk about it. So one is gonna do the terrible power again and just take one more stress and just gonna insanely fast like blur of shadow speed past all of this and head into the Triceratops room to look for Sari's drawing.
Oh, okay.
Just
No, I'll
gonna,
probably
because I
follow.
don't want to be seen. Like that's my whole thing is I wish to not be seen. So I'm just
And
gonna
we can definitely like, I know in Dungeons and Dragons and most like big tabletop RPGs, like you don't split the
Hmm.
party. I feel like this system's a little bit different, and then where
Hmm.
like splitting the party may be a very good idea.
I was gonna say,
Um,
I think at this point, especially because we did kind of like quickly hiss the idea of like we're gonna set off the alarm and then race into the other room. I think Essie
Hmm.
is actually gonna hold back
Hmm.
um to be able to intervene or interfere. So I'm going to start moving that direction, but I'm not gonna speed.
I'll give you like a signal that I'm going. Like I'm not disappearing for you two. So you know that I'm
Hmm.
fucking booking it to try and find this drawing.
I'll go with
I,
you because I don't know if I would have necessarily registered what exactly the plan was. I just saw you move, and then it was kind of like prey predator. Like, oh, we move.
I'll go ahead and say that. So I had two clocks for this heist. One was the movers that are actually swapping the items.
Hmm.
That we ticked up once when it took a long time to pick a lock, but I think now, just over the course of like everything that's gone on, that's probably ticked up another two or three, so 3 out of 6. So like they still aren't even like halfway to doing that swap. However, the other clock I had was alert.
Hmm.
And you all didn't do any like noisy shit until right now. So I think it's gonna jump from 0 to 6
Yeah, yeah.
right away.
Okay.
So
All
we've got the
right.
alert. We've got the alert clock ticked off. Shit has been alerted. Um,
Yay.
but obviously, it sounds like you all have a plan to deal with that alert. So that's fine.
Hmm.
Yeah, I want them to leave, and I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna drop down and put my shoes back on, so I'm a
Hmm.
little less obvious. And as soon as I start seeing people come running this way, I am going to just put on my most panicked level of like, like something's
Ooh.
happened, and I am gonna fully do diversionary like
Hell yeah.
I was looking for the powder room and then suddenly the lights went off and I saw that there was broken glass and something's happened.
Would that be a sway, you think, for people to believe that, like, if you're trying, obviously, like, you know what happened, right? But you're
I
trying
would
to like
argue I would
be
argue sway either because I'm convincing them or command because
yes,
I want them to look for the person who did this, whichever you
yep.
prefer. Sway would be my preference. I have a higher
I
score in that, but
I think like you said, to me, sway makes more sense.
oh no, something
Command to
dreadful
me
has
seems more
happened.
like in D and
It's
D
go do
terms.
this thing.
Yeah, in D&D terms, command to me it seems more like intimidate,
Yeah.
where sway seems more like either deception or
And
persuasion.
persuasion. Yeah.
So let's do sway. I think that makes sense too.
Yeah.
And one has bamfed and used a stress to get to the other room, right? What about
Correct.
Sorry? Where's Sorry at?
I'm following one into the room
Okay, so both of
because I've
you.
got. I'm not a. I'm not. I'm not a lurker, but I've got like 2 in prowl, which is a similar kind of thing. We're just like.
Yeah. Well, I think for you two, having that vampire ability, whatever it's called, the one that you can like
Terrible power.
terrible power, yeah. So if you want to, sorry, spend a stress point, you could also like just
Can do. Can do.
yeah. Uh, and that's why vampires in this system are supposed to be like pretty high level, because like to become a vampire officially in Blades in the Dark, you have to A, die, and then you could become a ghost, and then after like a while you can then find a body and inhabit, and then you become a vampire. So like vampires in the Blades in the Dark system is supposed to be like really OP. So we kind of
Mhm.
tinkered with it a little bit to make it a little bit
Mhm.
more balanced since we're in a one shot. But yeah, you guys still have really fucking cool powers
It's
too.
a one
So
shot. We're gonna
it's
wreck
a one
it.
shot. You guys can do fucking cool shit. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So One and Sorry have just lightning bolted over to the now empty ballroom. It's very eerie looking in here, because you can definitely see like the remnants of a party. You can see like plates and dinner tables kind of scattered around this triceratops. Um, Okay, no, I'm gonna skip that. Okay, but you all can see, um, to Sorry's misfortune, the big.
Sorry's
How
not
big is
necessary.
this? Is this like poster
So,
sized
shall I
or?
tell you what I
Yes,
actually
please.
based this on? So, at the High, once upon a time, they brought in a whole bunch of very interesting masters. And one that they brought was Sorry's personal friend, the ancient, in New Meme Town history, the ancient master, Toulouse, Lucy Lautrec. And he made so many fun fucking sketches. And there's one that's like a huge piece of paper that goes all the way down the wall. It's 10 feet long. And there's dancers. And then at the very end, if you go all the way there, he self inserted himself. He drew the back of him pissing on the wall. It's very funny. It's very cheeky. So I'm in a few of these pictures actually, but the one that I'm most concerned about is where he was drawing me just from the back, in the toilet, and you can see my signature red stockings, which are the remnants of which are kind of draggling down around my boots.
Amazing.
Love it
So,
so much.
yes, that one. I want that one. That one was mine. Lucy made that for me. I accidentally left it at the table because they were playing my song. When the music comes on at the Moulin Rouge, you dance. That's it.
Extremely valid. You look beautiful. And then I'm gonna look around and figure out how to get it.
Yeah. I'm just kind of admiring it, and then I'm like, oh, there was Genevieve. She was a slut.
R.I.P.
Okay, so
Genevieve.
so we've got a split scene at the moment. We got Essie trying to convince people that Essie is not involved in this at all, and also Essie, you were trying to point them to a specific
I
area, or
I am like shrieking and like pointing at like a fully different direction than they all just came from and then where I know my people are going. And I am just babbling in my best like hysterical white woman sounding like panic of like I was coming up to pat on my nose and then I saw them and they were in masks and they ran that way and there's glass everywhere and it looks like they've stolen things. I don't even know what could happen. I rolled a 5 on my sway.
oh,
Let's
Okay.
go.
Okay.
okay, yeah, I think with the 5, also, I am sorry. We talked about this before we started streaming about like hard stops and breaks and things, and we kind of kept flowing, and like now we're to the point where we're like starting to ramp down a little bit.
The
Does
beginning
anybody
of the
need
end.
a break, or are we good to just go ahead and probably wrap up
Let's
in the next like 10,
do it.
15? Okay.
let's do it.
Go.
Okay,
Let's
let's go ahead and
go.
start winding down then. Okay, Danny
hit
just
the
reminded me in the
alarms.
Discord. Okay, yeah, with the 5, I think all the guests are flooding out of the building. They don't care. They don't care why the alarm's going off. They want to get home. They want to get home safely. They don't
Aw.
care what you're talking about.
I'm just making a lot of shrieking hysterical noises, hoping that adds to general panic of people being like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to know. I don't want to know as she's
Smart.
screaming.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's perfect. And then I think it's the guards that actually listen to you and go towards the direction you're pointing. I don't even have a clock to tick up for like your consequence because you didn't get a full success. You had a mixed success. It's already everybody's alerted. Obviously,
mean-
you all don't care about the swap now.
I think the thing that we're worried about at this, like, the only thing Essie's worried about is that she knows there's a couple of people at this party that are going to absolutely be aware that she turned down the invitation to this party. So they're going to find it questionable that she's here. But
Okay.
also, she's here alone as far as they can tell. So as
Yeah.
long as the other two get out.
I like that because we can turn that 5, which is even though it's a 5 out of 6 in Blades in the Dark terms, it's a mixed success, which like
Right.
should have a consequence.
Evil.
No, and that's
Because
why I'm like,
we can say that the consequence is in the future, like you would have uncomfortable conversations of, hey, you said you weren't coming and you were fucking there.
I'm definitely gonna have to have a very awkward date with one of these guys at some point and try
Yes.
to explain why I showed up.
Well, that is a stream for another day. As far as one and sorry goes, you two are the only ones in this room. You can see that your illicit painting, sorry, is just about. It's not like it's out of reach or anything. It's obviously like eye level, right? So like if you picture like going to like a museum and like looking at paintings, it is just like it's right there. It's not behind. It's got a glass like a protection, so like nobody spills anything on it, but it's nothing that you can't like. It's not encased in the glass, if that makes sense.
Okay. Okay. Let me think. I mean, we could fucking shatter the glass. I mean, fuck, it's paper. And I'm not really interested about anybody else in the picture. I just really want to cut me out of it. So, I don't care about what he drew about other people. He did a good job with me.
You know what? It's your picture. Just say the word. I can
Let's do
probably
that.
get it out there.
Let's do that. That's more fun.
All right.
Yep.
In that case, just for flavor, I'm a vampire. I'm sure I could do this with my fists, but I have a bunch of knives on me, so I'm just gonna pull one of them out, and I'm gonna use the butt end of the hilt to just fucking smash it open.
Okay, I thought
And
you were
then
gonna cut out.
I'm gonna
just-
hand her a knife.
Sorry.
I'm gonna hand her a knife and let her do whatever she wants with this picture.
We got blades in the dark.
Hell yeah!
Finally! It is
We
dark,
did the
and there are
thing!
blades. That's how they named this
Hooray!
system.
My
Oh
God, we were so freaking Dora Explorer levels of excited for Blades in the Dark.
I love when they say the title and things.
I know. Yeah, it's like a movie where they say the title. I was like, fuck yeah, it's the
Take a
title.
shot.
I guess after all, we were blades in the dark. So yeah, I break this open and I hand you the knife. I'm like, it's your drawing. Do with it whatever you want.
What does the very intoxicated sorry do with this?
I am under no circumstances more intoxicated than I normally am. I'm exactly, if not a little less high than I normally am. So I'm just kind of like, just kind of not super carefully, like not very straight, but like you can tell that like somebody did like a preschooler's version of cutting out the shape. I didn't cut into the lines. Lucy drew these lines very well. But I'm, fuck it. There's a part of a mustache over there, and there's somebody else's petticoat. I don't give a fuck.
I think I just stand guard and watch this,
Okay.
like, deeply terrified. It doesn't really show, but I'm kind of hurt for the art that we're wrecking after all
It is a
this.
good painting.
Yeah.
Oh, he did most of his stuff on like pieces of menu and like scraps of paper. Like, none of us have any money. 2 francs to rub together as if, no, this is just charcoal. It's good.
And
You
then
have your
how
stuff.
we
Got my stuff.
end Blades in the Dark is generally we ask, what is the escape plan?
Bomb.
Yeah.
So there's a separated. Okay. Okay.
Blow it up.
I mean, A, you guys can't sneak back out the way we came in because I directed everybody in fully different direction, but also Essie is fully prepared for an explosion to go off somewhere. So do as you like. We did not discuss this.
Does this
Should
room have
we?
windows?
Does
Very
it have the
important.
big skylight over the
It
Triceratops?
does, of course, have a fucking skylight above the Triceratops.
Sorry, babe. Let's blow this shit up and fly up.
Oh, you fuckers can fly. I'm like, oh,
Fucking
how are they gonna get out
vampires.
that skylight? Oh, fuck, you're vampires. Yeah, that's right. Are you blowing up the Triceratops and then
Yes, I
fucking
am.
skadooshing out?
Yes, I am. I go like scuttle, like very creepily to the very top of this like little thing, and I just kind of plant it on top of it, and then it's just my favorite part.
It's a one shot or pastime. There's no rolls. It's just exactly how you three want the escape to go fucking goes.
Yay!
So if you want to narrate it anymore, obviously we've got flying to the top of the Triceratops, popping the bomb down, setting it to blow up, going out the skylight. Essie, what's your kind of
as the bomb explodes and everyone screams and runs, you get that zoom in where you get like the flower duet playing over as in slow motion. She just pulls sunglasses out of her little bag, puts them on, and casually walks out of the museum behind the fleeing, screaming crowd, and just turns off down a dark alley, turns into like a cloud of bats, and flies back to her office, which is the rendezvous point, obviously.
Of course. And obviously, just very quickly, so we are. That's where we will wrap the heist. Usually, if we were playing a campaign of Blades in the Dark, we would then have to determine how much heat you guys got. So let's go ahead just real quick. Let's see here.
Well,
how much heat did you three get from this? So 0 heat, it was smooth and quiet, low exposure. 2 heat, it was contained, standard exposure. 4 heat, it was loud, chaotic, and high exposure. Or 6 heat, it was wild, devastating exposure.
I will
we didn't
make
kill anyone.
You
I
did
will
not
make
kill
the
anybody, so that
argument.
is good.
that even while it was wild and chaotic, there was no exposure because no one saw us on
There you
any
go.
recorded media.
That's true. How about we just say a solid 2 heat, which is usually contained in standard. However, it was, I would say, loud and chaotic, which is a 4.
I mean, this feels standard for how at least the two of them operate. To just blow something up and bail.
Of course.
This is what I am hired to do.
I'll take 2 heat. I'm a lawyer. I've got heat on me anyway.
Yeah. So like in campaigns that I've obviously has like major consequences, even in like every single score you go on, and like if your heat's higher, it's going to be harder to do. But for a one shot, I just wanted to like narratively think like how much are the authorities going to be looking for you three after this big explosion of the Triceratops?
I don't exist.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to answer some awkward questions, but I'm used to that.
Awesome. Thank you 3 so much. What after you all have gathered your artifacts, are you like going to just like give a friendly wave and everybody go their own way, or do we think that you 3 are going to be like buds now, or stick to the solitary life?
I'm never opposed.
I think contacts is the correct word. I think Essie would be happy to call on the two of you again in a if you're interested in making a little on the side, I've got some things you could do, but she'll never push it. She does also have an open door policy for her office because, again, she only works nights and nobody else in the firm does. And she has a lot of drugs. So if you ever just want to come party, that's
fantastic.
Excellent.
Okay, let's go ahead and wrap up. And Alondra, why don't you go ahead and just where can people find you at? Actually, Danny's here. Danny,
Yeah,
why don't you
Hi, Danny.
host the wrap up, please?
Hi, I'm a librarian, and occasionally I play D&D. And you can find me on Instagram as Fiddlefern90.
Beautiful. Netta Marie, tell us who you are, where we can find you, what you do.
Oh my God, you can find me at Neda Marie. That's Neda, and then just Marie, all over the internet, Twitter, Instagram, the rest, whatever you want to find me at. Most importantly, though, I am a player and the producer and sometimes editor of Questlight Plans, which is about to wrap up season 1. And if you're a fan of fucking up a nasty dinosaur, you might very much enjoy
Which
it.
everybody on this show was.
Everyone,
I'm
there were
tired.
people in chat who were like, no, the dinosaur. And I'm like, you're going to hate my show. You can find us at Questlate Plans on Twitter and Instagram, and also questlateplans.com. And please join us. It's 15 episodes are out, one more left. And I'm very proud of it.
You should be. It's excellent.
Very good. It's super
Thank
good.
you.
Alondra, tell us about you.
I am Alondra, aka Lady Bedivere. You can find me at Lady Bedivere on basically any social media except TikTok, where it's Lady Bedivere, because username campers. I am a producer and player over at the Quests and Chaos Network. You can find me there quite often, and also moderating their Discord. I'm also a player with the Torpid Gaming Network, and if you follow me on my personal socials, you'll see other fun things that I do, like writing small games, and I'll probably be running and producing some podcasts coming up in the next year, so I'd love to see some friendly faces around. And of course, I'm frequently here because I'm unemployed and don't have a life right now, so I like to meme.
Excellent. And Adam, tell us about you.
Yeah, I am all over the Majestic Goose Network. You can find me at Adam DeWeese on most social media, and I'm DM for One Shot Onslaught, Halfway to Heroes, Shitty Cowboys. I'm a player in Eclipse and a couple other shows and frequent here as well. Mostly come join our Discord. I think you can go to bit.ly/halfway to Discord and find us there. Come hang out with us. And also, if you're not following us on Twitch, you definitely should be.
Excellent.
I've also kicked off a raid, and it looks like we've got about 10 seconds left before it
Oh my God.
auto kicks off.
Okay,
But Danny,
well, let's,
Danny, you plug your shit because
well, there's
are
all
important
sorts of
also.
stuff, but the most important thing is that Meme of the Month is going to be back in the new year. Our next show is going to be on Saturday, January 14th. Same bat time, same bat channel. And we're going to be playing a little thing called Fortune Fools with some fortune cookies. So stay tuned for that one. It's going to be a blast.
7, 6. It's about to auto kick off.
Okay,
Sorry,
Discord.
Danny. I started
All right,
too early. Bye,
that's
everybody.
great.
Thank you.
Bye,
Go
everyone.
check out
Thank you for
Arcana
watching.
Rama. Okay, the raid kicked off.
Yay.
I wish you could like raid and not have to like.
Like load it and then be like,
Yeah,
and
you
go.
know what I mean? Because like it
Yeah.
takes a while to load the raid, but then also